Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to another tag video. Today I'm going to be doing DollyMamaBeauty's tag. She created a tag recently, or I think it was recently. You guys know I've been out of the loop, but she created a tag recently that I think it's called the Techniques tag. It might be the Makeup Techniques tag, but anyway, I'll have her channel as well as her video linked down below. She tagged me in it. I know it went up when I was out and sick, but I'm just now sitting down to do it. And I went over her questions. There are 12 questions. They just sound like a lot of fun, really focusing more on like makeup application and makeup steps and makeup techniques, hence the tag title. And I just thought it was a lot of fun and I really wanted to sit down and do it today. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so question number 1 is, what techniques do you do that you see no one else but yourself doing? I thought about this for a long time and I can't really think of anything because I feel like everything that I've learned and everything that I do, well, everything that I do, like applying my makeup, I've learned from somebody. I don't really think there's anything that is like, oh, like I just kind of all of a sudden thought of it myself. I did think about how I use, it's not really a technique, it's more like a tip, but I like to use the spoolie side of the brushes, and I like to use it to get mascara off because I feel like you can kind of scratch, sounds bad, but you like, usually I get it down here, so I'll take a clean one and scratch at it like this, and it helps the mascara flake off without really taking off your foundation. But I'm pretty sure I got that tip from someone. I just have such a horrible memory. That's my only kind of trick that I don't really see many people doing, but like I said, I learned it from someone. So I don't really think I thought of it myself. So I don't know. That's what I'm going to give for my answer, but nothing really came to mind. Question number 2. What techniques, if any, do you think is unnecessary? I don't know. I think it all depends on who you are as a person as to what you need. But I feel like one technique that I feel like most people don't need is nose contouring. I feel like it definitely was a fad not too long ago, but even though the fad is come and gone, I still feel like I see people doing it. I'm just like, I mean, yes, there are some people who do it and you can see the before and after and it does help. So, you know, it does do something, but I feel like for the majority of people I see doing a nose contour, it's kind of like, I don't really see that much of a difference before and after. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm not seeing it, maybe it's nose contouring is better for when you're taking pictures and stuff like that, but you know, to watch the Instagram tutorials or whatnot, I would see people doing nose contouring and I'm just kind of like, did it do anything? Okay, if you think it did, great, but for me personally watching it, I was just kind of like, it still kind of looks the same as before you contoured. Anyway, so yeah, that would be my pick. Nose contouring, I really don't see the point. Question number 3, what technique do you think is totally ridiculous? Okay, I picked clown contouring, but I do want to say that I feel like if it works for you or if you need it for something, I feel like pretty much any makeup technique can be helpful. And I'm picking clown contouring, but I feel like there is a time and a place for the clown contouring to really heavily contour using all the different colors and whatnot. And I feel like it's more appropriate for photography and modeling and stuff like that. Like I feel like for pictures, clown contouring can really help chisel a face out, but like when people do clown contouring for like Instagram, I'm just like, at least most of what I see, I feel like it just doesn't make that big of a difference as opposed to just putting on foundation, putting on blush, putting on contour, you know, doing the steps regular. I just never understood that trend, and so when I was trying to think of something ridiculous, that's the first thing that came to mind. Maybe because it's clown, but anyway. Question number 4. What technique looks good on others but doesn't flatter you? This is easy for me. People who use white in their waterline. I think it looks beautiful. Like whenever I see someone have a white in their waterline, their eyes look so much bigger. Their makeup, no matter how much they have, just looks so refreshed and they just look, it does. I feel like it always looks healthier, makes the person look more, you know, awake and refreshed. But for me, when I do it, not even just white, but like any kind of light color. That's why I typically just use black, but any kind of color, definitely white. Whenever I do it, I feel like I look like there's something wrong with my eyes. And I think I've thought about it and like seen myself use white eyeliner enough to know. I think I've figured out that I just have downturned eyes. So when I do use white, it kind of emphasizes the fact that at the corners, not that they're downturned, but they don't go up. If that makes sense. So when I do a wing and then I put white in my waterline, it kind of brings it down and it just, I don't know, I feel like it makes my eyes look weird. put it that way. So when I see other people put white in their waterline or nude or whatever to, you know, make them look more awake, make it look more natural makeup, and you just want a little bit of white to brighten things up, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And I've always looked at it and been like, I want to do that. I feel like it looks so pretty, makes her eyes look so big. But when I do, I just feel like it just looks weird on me. And I've done it like, you know, since doing YouTube and editing myself when I'm wearing a light colored or a white colored, you know, liner in my waterline. I just feel like it looks weird. So that's an easy answer for me. What techniques, if any, freak you out? Okay, does anyone remember this, and does anyone still do it? But remember when the fad was to apply your false lashes underneath your actual lash line because it was supposed to look more natural? That freaked me out. I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't even apply false lashes on top of my lash line. Can you imagine trying to do that underneath? That freaked me out. When I was seeing people do it, I was just like, oh, it's gonna go in your eye, that weirded me out. So that was definitely one that just weirded me out. And it was such a quick fad too, because I feel like I don't hear anyone doing it anymore. Let me know. Does anyone still do it? That was pretty big. Everyone was trying it and talking about how natural, or like more natural, it made your lashes look, which I get. I can see the point of that because you don't see the band, but that weirded me out, and I never even got close to attempting it. I knew I should stay away. Question number 6. What technique or application trend needs to come back in style? This one, it might be kind of lame, but I'm not really going to answer. I'm not someone who keeps up with the trends or honestly really cares what the trends are. I just see something I like, I do it. I see something I don't like, I don't worry about it. I feel like I've heard people say like matte eyes are coming back into trend, which is cool. I know glosses are into, you know, more trendy than, you know, matte liquid lipstick, which I'm not such a big fan of, but I just don't partake. So I don't know. I'm not someone who keeps a pulse on the trends, so I don't know enough about them to really care. If anything, like, I'm excited to see more color coming back and being trendy on like Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, I don't really have a hard answer on this because I don't really keep up with the trends or, yeah, remember what the trends were back then. Question number 7. If you had one makeup technique that you would prefer to skip in your makeup routine, what would it be? This is easy for me. I wish I could skip my brows. Now, I am someone who's blessed with really full brows, so I really shouldn't complain because I don't need to do that much with them. But they're something that I tend to do last just so I don't have to worry about getting powders or whatnot in my brows. So it's one of the last steps that I do. It's just one that I dread because the last thing I want to do when I'm all done is fickle with my brows because I feel like, I don't know, I don't really do it that well. Like, my preferred method is some type of tinted brow gel so I can just brush them through and call it a day, because when I try to fill them in or just kind of carve them out, I just feel like it looks too blocky, too dark, or I don't know. So I like the gels because it just gives a bit of a tint, fills in the sparse areas, and we'll just let it go natural because that's just one I don't like doing my brows. They're so boring, and if I could skip them I would, but then I look weird because I have like ashy brows from like all the powder I put on my face and whatnot in my brows, and it just looks weird and sparse. So I have to put something in them to kind of get that powder out and tint them a bit, but I dread doing them. Question number 8. Name a specific technique you learned from an influencer or artist that you've adopted into your routine, and also who is the influencer and artist. I feel terrible here because I definitely have a technique that really changed the game when it comes to how I do my eye makeup, but I don't remember where I learned it. I'm trying to remember. So the technique is to pack on your shadows, specifically, you know, your matte shadows, instead of buffing and blending, because I feel like 3-4 years ago when I was just getting into makeup, like everyone had the E40 brush and you would take whatever shade you wanted to use in your outer corner and your crease and you just buff, right? I feel like that was just what you did and how you learned to do your eye makeup. But when I was getting more into color, I was always frustrated because all of my color would look really diffused and light when I would buff it. And I forget who I was watching where I learned to do more packing on with a more detailed brush like this, you know, Real Techniques shading brush, and use that to pack and place the color before you blend it. And I can't remember who it was. I know Rocio recently did it and she does a lot of packing. I know Bad to the Brow, she does, I think that's her YouTube username. She does a lot of packing, and I see it now that I know it, but I've been doing it for a while and I can't remember who I picked that up on. Sorry, I have a terrible memory. Question number 9. What technique, if any, do you wish you could do but never try because it seems too complicated? This is one easy for me because I've always looked at it and been like, ooh, that would be fun, but I have yet to actually do it. It's like the double winged liner, or not even the double, like that too, but also like when people line it and then they like do a cut crease and then add another wing within like the negative space of the cut crease. Anything like that with kind of like two wings, I always think looks so pretty, but I am terrified of doing it. Like I just don't know how it would turn out, so I have yet to do it. But that's one that I'm always eyeing. Whenever I see anyone do it, I'm just like, oh, that looks so cool, that looks so pretty, I wish I could do it, and it stops there. Question number 10. Other than eyeshadow application, what makeup technique do you find the most satisfying? Wing liner. I love doing my wing liner, even though it takes time to really make them even, and it can be annoying when you don't get them even some days. I still really enjoy it, and I feel like it just completes any look for me. I do try to dabble in doing, eye makeup looks that don't have wing liner, but whenever I do, I just feel like it's a little incomplete, and just something about the wings for me personally, it just makes me feel like me, I guess. But yeah, even if I can't do my eyeshadow or I can't do much to my makeup, wings are always like right at the top. If I can only do one or two things, it's definitely wings is gonna make it in there because I don't know, I really like winged out eyeliner. Even if it's a tiny one, just a little bit. Question number 11, what eyeshadow technique do you wish you could master? The full cut crease. Maybe one day I will. I've been attempting it more so recently. I've tried it a couple times here on my channel, but that's one that anytime I do it, I just don't like how it looks. And I think because, I'm sure you guys have noticed with me being on YouTube, but my eyes, they don't open. One is a little more hooded than the other. One has more space than the other. I don't know. They're just not symmetrical. They're just not even. So I feel like when I do the cut crease, I have to really take that into consideration and do different techniques on each side. And I feel like I am just not comfortable enough with those techniques to do them well. So then it just looks weird all around. And if I try to do the same thing on one eye to the other eye, it definitely looks weird because one doesn't match anymore because my eyes aren't the same on either side. They're not, they're not the same curve. Cool. Because that's another thing when I was learning to do my wing liner, it always frustrated me because when I would watch videos on learning how to do your wing liner, they'd say, well, just do an angle here and then do the same angle on the other side, kind of lining up with your nose. For me personally, I can't do that because if I do, they're even, but because my eyes aren't, I don't even know what it is about them. One's a little more downturned than the other. I don't know. But if I do that, they don't look like they're going in the right direction because of the way my eyes are. One kind of goes more straight, the other one goes more out this way, and it looks weird. So it's taken me a long time, a very long time, especially when I was first trying to figure it out, to finally realize like, hey Katie, your eyes are just different. You can't do the same thing on each eye and expect them to look the same. So anyway, to answer that question, full cut crease, that's something I would really like to master, but I don't know. My eyes are too difficult and I don't have the time because full cut creases take time. And I just feel like when I sit down to do my eyes, I don't have that time. Okay, and last question. What technique do you think is great, but you feel you're too lazy to do? This is another easy one for me, lip liner, because, and I say it's great because I do think that there is a good purpose and a good reason for doing lip liners. But for me, I'm just, like the question asks, I'm just too lazy to do it. By the time I finish all my makeup, I'm in a hurry. Usually the kids are kind of ready to go do something else, so I'm just like slapping on a lipstick and running out the door. But yeah, I'm just too lazy for that. But I do feel like it has a purpose and it does help and it does look nice when you use it, but I never do. So there you have it. That is the techniques tag. Thank you so much, Amy DollyMamaBeauty, for tagging me to do this tag and for creating this tag. It was so much fun. I don't think I've seen many people do it, so definitely please go check out her channel, check out her tag video, and let's get this going around because I would love to see everyone's answers. Please consider yourself tagged if you have a channel, or if you don't and want to participate, leave it in the comments down below. I always love reading y'all's responses when you leave it in the comments, and it's just a fun way to interact and to hear everyone's answers to it. Even if you don't have a channel, you can still participate in these tags. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below any kind of videos you would like to see. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.